All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Foreign and Domestic. Yes, we are here. Good to see everyone out there. We're going to get started off right, and I'm going to ask my fellow American, Mr. Battlebean, if you would, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys, let's go. Hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. This coming week is going to be a really good week. We gain another fine American this week. So, if you guys don't know, we do gain another American this week. So, TAC
Oh,
over
and
at AOK Foraging and Adventures will be swearing in this week. So, absolutely freaking awesome. So, if you don't know, if you haven't said anything to her, go over and watch one of her videos and let her know that's awesome and congratulations to her. That being
That's
said,
no
let's
gooder.
go over to Alan to get us started off right.
well, all right. That is absolutely phenomenal news. Absolutely love to hear that. And do it's about time is all I'd have to say about that. They drag their feet and make it really difficult for the people that are trying to do it right. Bald and Curious is out there, unfortunately for all of us. Bearded Barnaby Sanchez, Chris 338, Edward Petty, Garage Guy 879, excuse me, Hoser Ranch, Jerbear Tactical, Paul P, Thoughts of an Old Soldier, MacMan 039 Reloading. Very good to have you. Yeah, the YouTube's list is jumping for he say I don't know. Edward Petty, Corsair Trainers out there also, and the illustrious Pops Quest. Yeah, putting out the message. Keep shining light on the message. I agree, Pops. I agree. Gunpowder Beauty jumping out there. Fuzz Fork 8. Man, this thing is jumping all over the place. Anna Lee Brown. I don't even know where to start anymore because this thing is all over, except for that one person right there, that YouTube auditor, eat a bowl of dicks.
Absolutely. Daniel, what's going on, man?
No, not too much. Thanks for the invite. And looking forward to having some fun with you guys. And I can actually see the chat now. So I can get over there on the side and raise all kinds of hate and discontent. Thank you.
We expect nothing less. Jamie, what's going on, man?
Hey, brother, thanks for having me. I hope everybody's had a good week and braced for Thanksgiving next week. Hopefully, you'll have some time off, some time with your family, and a little time off of work and some rest and relaxation. But thanks for the link, man. Thanks for having me. We should have a fun time.
Awesome. Good deal, man. Battle Bean. What's going on, dude?
Old people and technology don't mix, bro. Just saying. Anyways, I'm doing well. Just appreciate the link and appreciate hanging out with my peoples here. So, hello, side chat. Hello, everyone. Looking forward to some good conversation.
Awesome. Good deal. So, I think everyone probably saw the good news this past week. Justice was served and served well for once and for all. So if you haven't heard, you're in a hole somewhere, but Kyle was not guilty as he should have been. So congratulations to him. Absolutely freaking awesome news.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. A trial that shouldn't have even been a trial. And it went exactly as it should. It was a 100% clean shoot. And he was measured in grains. Good to see you. Armament Nexus as well. He was found innocent as he should have been. The already the left, including our president, who should be the very first person that Kyle sues for defamation of character, by the way, was already turning their agenda and deriving crap. But I was only speculatory that the kid was going to get off, or that the kid was going to be proclaimed innocent. Only speculatory, because even our justice system has been so corrupted that the prosecutor during the trial committed one of the crimes that he was trying to get against Kyle Rittenhouse, and his ass wasn't arrested immediately in the courtroom.
To answer Garage Guy's question, yes, he can.
He can also file some civil suits too, and he's got a lot of them to file. I commented on somebody's video. Kyle Rittenhouse will be a multi-millionaire by the time he's 21.
He's got lawyers knocking on the door like crazy. He's got some politicians out there offering them jobs. You name it. That kid's probably set for life.
He has got police departments, sheriff departments, marshal offices across the country that are like, we will send you into training. You come out of training and we will put a badge on you. You come work for us. Which is what the kid wanted to do eventually anyway. He, in his social media 2 years ago, he was talking about inspiring to be a law enforcement officer.
I thought he wanted to go in the medical field. Bald and Curious posted a few minutes ago that the guy in Atlanta was acquitted as well. Okay, that was in South Georgia. That was in Brunswick, around in there, and that was a very different situation. Yeah, these guys kind of. I was really concerned about that one, and I'm concerned about what's going to happen now that he's acquitted. So we'll get into that a little later if y'all want to.
I'm kind of worried about the Marbury case. I think that one is gonna be a difficult one, regardless of how it goes. I just feel that either side is going to put a stronghold, and it's going to be an interesting situation there.
That's the one I'm referring to, Mario, and I think that
Pops is right, man. See that right now they're screaming racism, they're still screaming white supremacist, all this crap, and it's never going to end.
See, what I don't get is how the hell are you a white supremacist when you kill white guys? I mean, no damn sense.
He's not a white supremacist because he defended himself. It's not like he went out and started mowing them down on purpose. You know, he defended himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and that's what the media was trying to pertain him to be. That he was just some wannabe vigilante that was out there randomly shooting people.
And they're still screaming that now. Even after the verdict, they're still screaming that.
Here's my thing: if somebody's trashing your neighborhoods, trashing your family business, or whatever the case may be, you have every right to defend that. I don't give a shit what people say. It's just common sense, man. That's all that is.
Now,
Now, it's
Hey.
not lucky. Now, hold up. Now, lucky that this happened in Wisconsin, because it would have happened in a liberal ass state like mine, that they would have thrown the book at that poor kid.
this
Well,
also
yeah,
just
they're
goes to
still spreading lies, like Grey Note says. They are completely still spreading their agenda, even though the entire trial was broadcast for anybody that had any interest at all. But people don't. People just read headlines and then, oh, okay, that's what happened. That's all they do.
Go
They
ahead,
don't
Daniel.
even bother to look into the story or actually look into what actually happened.
And what the media is failing to do is to show everybody that was shot at, killed, or shot, all there was 4 of them, and they did identify the 4th person. They are all criminals. They all have criminal records. So just to show you, those people that are rioting, 4 out of 4, all criminals. And this Rittenhouse kid, he was there to render first aid, and he smartly took a weapon to defend himself because he ended up needing it, fighting against criminals that are out on a riot.
That's one of the main things that the president has a problem with, is that he proved that he could 100% legally use an AR-15 to defend himself. It's a defensive weapon just as much as anything else. You want to call it a sporting rifle, you want to call it whatever you want to call it. If I ever have to use it, it's going to be because of a defensive situation.
Yeah. And
And
that
see,
AR-15 is the best weapon that we have in the civilian side to protect ourselves against tyranny. Not necessarily to hunt with or defend our house, but to protect ourselves from tyranny from an overbearing government.
Yeah, I saw that too.
He was such a sweet boy. He really was.
And you mean to tell me it was this great aunt that went and be the spokesman for the fucking family? Like, really?
Yes,
Well,
Jim,
yeah, she's
we are.
probably
the
I'm
only one that
I'm
has
okay
it.
with that.
I'm down with that shit. I gives no shit.
My big takeaway is this, and I think y'all agree. It proved that in America, if we're attacked, we still have a choice besides dying. That's it.
Well, I think one of the big things it shows is it brings more light to the fact that no matter the verdict, the other side won't let it go. You know, they're screaming bloody murder still, regardless. And he was judged by 12. So at the end of the day, the kid's innocent. But they're not going to let it go. They're still pushing for the DOJ and all the rest of it
But
to.
I think it's also very sad that it also depends on where you live in this country, because if you live in other states, you're not going to get the same fair treatment that he got in Wisconsin. And it's really sad, because regardless of where you live, what part of the country you live in, everybody should have the same equal rights, regardless of whether it's a liberal area or conservative area.
Oh, Vanessa Kitty, there's very good reason. Why are they not speaking about the rioters and their previous felonies? Because it doesn't fit their agenda. Plain and simple. The 2 people that were involved in that incident were criminals, all with records, felonies. What about the guy that ended up taking the stand? He was a felon. Shouldn't have had a firearm to begin with. Did he get brought up on gun charges? If not, he freaking better. The pushing of anti-gun for everybody except for if you're a leftist is just gotta fucking stop. If you're a Republican, if you're a conservative, if you're anything like that, oh yeah, we want to take your guns. Oh, but you're left? Oh, okay. Well, I guess it doesn't matter if you can't pass a background check. We'll let you keep your guns. What the fuck is
It's
the
not just
logic?
conservative. It's
get
not
it.
conservatives or anything like that. It's if you believe in America, if you believe in what the Constitution stands for, then you're a bad person. You're a racist. You're this. You're that. You know. There is no middle ground with these people.
And right now in Congress, you got congressmen bringing up that the whole thing, the Second Amendment about being outdated and people shouldn't have AR 15s because they would use them against government troops. Well, basically, we have them to fight against tyranny to make sure the government stays working for the people and not ruling over the people. We're at a tipping point.
And it's, is it an effective tool? Meh. It shoots a little tiny 55 grain projectile, maybe 77, little tiny projectile. It's a little 22 caliber projectile. Is it really all that effective? Really?
Yes.
Yes, it is. 3 out of 4. 2 killed, 1 winged.
You know, I watched a lot of that trial at work on YouTube while I was doing work and listening more than watching. But the guy who was wounded and didn't die, and there's pictures of his arm just vaporizing when the shot went off. He had a Glock that did not belong to, well, it belonged to him. It was not registered to him. They had no record of him having it. And if I'm not mistaken, he was a convicted felon. He was pointing it at Kyle at the point in time. Kyle squeezed the trigger, and yet and still he testified in court that he was pointing the gun at Kyle when he fired. So, you know, his testimony, although he was a witness for the prosecution, his testimony alone was enough for acquittal, in my opinion.
It very well should have been, because everything that needed to be said from him was said. He's like, did Kyle aim the rifle at you before you pointed the pistol at him? No.
Let me be the prosecutor and point a rifle towards the jury. Oh, that was beautiful. Oh, and by the way, he's got his finger on the trigger. Like, oh, lovely. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and for especially for a man, not that this is of any consequence, a man that has absolutely no idea anything at all about firearms. That right there is reckless handling of a firearm. And that was one of the things that they were trying to get on Kyle. His ass should have been arrested on the spot in the courtroom.
You point a gun at somebody, that's assault with a deadly weapon.
Hey, but it's funny. It's funny how the guys that are very familiar with firearms, they never ever do stuff like that. Curious, huh? Hello, Bolt.
Yeah. People that are familiar with firearms would never do fucking something stupid like that. That is reckless handling of a firearm. It's plain and simple.
Okay, somebody answered this. He was charged. One of the counts was when he the 2 shots that he took at the guy and he missed. So they called him unknown. And so how you get charged with that? Don't you have a right to face your accuser in a court? How come he was unknown? Meantime, if you do a little digging, he wasn't unknown. He was. They actually had identified him. He was another felon as well, but he said he wants a full immunity if he's going to testify. So that's why he remained unknown.
You know, honestly,
that's why he was considered unknown.
Yeah, but if he's unknown, and like I said, he's not. You're supposed to be able to face your accuser at the court, right? So.
Well, let's see if he gets charged now. He should be charged.
Well, they all should be charged. It makes you think. 4 people, 4 felons. How many felons were in that riot, and why exactly did they come there? And if they all have a criminal history.
Well, see, this is the thing. This is the thing. All these felons and all these people are being protected, while the people who are actually trying to take care of the neighborhood are being prosecuted.
The rights of the criminal.
Plus, it kind of sounds to me like these people were paid to be there.
Oh, and that's the thing. I don't know if you guys saw, but while they were debating whether he was guilty or not guilty, there was pallets of bricks being delivered again around.
No, that was debunked.
Kenosha.
That was debunked. That was debunked. Those pictures were from somewhere else.
Nevertheless, the only violence that was reported outside of the courtroom was by a couple of individuals, one in particular wearing an F. Kyle t-shirt and assaulting a reporter that was just doing their job outside of the courtroom. And so the only violence that we see again is coming from the leftist.
Well, of course. Where were all the riots when OJ walked free?
Seriously.
And how come it's always like we just had the elections, right? In New Jersey, we almost had a Republican governor. Oh, he was so close. How come it's always Democrats win? They always find technical
because
difficulties.
They cheat. They fucking cheat.
But where are the Republicans? Why aren't we cheating? If you're not cheating, you're not winning.
Yeah, I hear you. Hey guys, I'm gonna step out for a little bit. So if I don't catch you guys again, man, much love and respect, y'all. But Mama made food and I gotta go eat. So
hey, before you leave, Mario,
yeah,
I just wanted to say an appropriate goodbye to you.
You got
much
one of
love,
those? Okay.
Much love.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Make sure you filter that. All right. Love you. Bye.
I mean, it sure was a great news that he got acquitted. I mean, like I said, the kid shouldn't be there, but he shouldn't be charged in the first place. I mean, he did some stupid things, but he did not do anything illegal.
So I guess someone drove through a parade with a rifle. There you go.
Yeah, I hadn't seen any reports about that.
Car ramming. I haven't seen anything on that one. Unless you guys send me something during the day on a Sunday, I'm not going to see it because I'm sleeping. So.
Yeah, I was the same way. I got the text because I was working. I got a text from Big Johnson that he got acquitted. I'm like, oh hell yeah.
Yeah, I woke up to probably a dozen text messages and a couple emails.
No, I've been following it live. I followed it live the entire time.
Wow.
Wow. Did it say anything on there, Daniel? Can you read a little bit about it?
I'll read it here.
Yeah, Uncle Jim's right. Republicans are late, other than DeSantis, because all the Democrats are taking Kyle. on the other side, there should be all the Republicans, defending him, and nobody really did, other than Fox News. Nothing. And I have no idea what they teach him in schools, because my kid got back from college. He had no idea what I'm talking about. My daughter in high school, she had no idea what I'm talking about. I'm like,
Yeah. This one here didn't say anything about him shooting.
I guess there's two separate incidents.
Okay, that's one in Wisconsin.
there's probably something happening in New York City too.
That's the only thing I see in here. Just the one where the guy ran through a Christmas parade. Nothing about a gun being waved.
Well, they have a 500 National Guards in Kenosha, so hopefully any uprising they can squash down.
Yeah. So once it gets warm again, or about any kind of protest, you're going to see the left showing up with guns. Period.
Fosfor, he's right. The lady Republicans are standing up. He's right, because I was watching that congresswoman from Colorado, the one that carries the gun, what, she owns the restaurant or something, and she just ripped into AOC and Ilham Akbar, whatever the hell her name is, and she just called them right out, right on the Congress floor. It was so funny, and she did not hold back. I mean, she's from what I understand, she's like a tiny little girl, but she's got a set of balls.
I think the men folks, my son is right. He's saying the same thing Uncle Jim was. Our Republican, the men folks, they're not doing much of anything.
There's very few.
And then that lady, I watched her comments on Kingpin's channel just a few minutes ago. And I'm like, wow, man, that should shame us men folk. We need to grow a pair, guys. I mean, seriously. Tuesday night, my Congress lady called me up and wanted us to sit in on a electronic town hall meeting. That was awesome, man. I've never got a call from my representative before. Will you sit in and answer the poll questions? Of course, we hit the buttons and all that kind of stuff, but it's nice to have somebody that cares about what you think. And y'all probably know my Congress lady, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's been in trouble before. She was the one that was standing up and calling the elections a fraud when nobody else would. And I think this Rittenhouse trial has gotten the Fox News Network back in the good graces of a lot of the American people, if that's possible. But they're back on the doo-doo list of all the ultra left wing. So I'm just,
Oh,
This
Fox
is the
News
other
has
part
the
to it,
highest
too. A lot
ratings.
of them are rhinos. So, our governor is a complete and utter freaking rhino. But we have good people like Jim Jordan, who is one of the few still fighting for us out here in Ohio.
Yeah, we got nobody good from New York. We got Schumer, we got AOC. We fucked.
we got Marjorie Taylor Greene in the House, but we ain't got nobody in the Senate. Told y'all about getting a email from Raphael Warnock, didn't I? Told him we got to stand up for our Second Amendment rights. And he wrote me back probably 2 weeks later, said, but we've got to have common sense. And I'm like, I support your right to own and bear arms, but there got to be some common sense. Common sense is leave people alone and you won't have to deal with it.
Common sense is a thing of the past.
Common sense ain't too common no more. It's not. Real quick, I showed up the other day and an Amazon package that I did not purchase showed up. Somebody Amazoned me a copy of this Dean Koontz Big Little Life. And whoever it was, thank you. Thank you. Complete separation from what Dean Koontz normally writes. It's a memoir about a golden retriever that him and his wife adopted. And already getting into that. But whoever that was, thank you.
I can tell you it was someone out in the side chat. I don't know if they wanted to say who they are, but someone in the side chat reached out to me and asked me for your address. So I didn't think you would mind.
No. I've read Dean Koontz quite a bit. And it even in the foreword, he puts that this is a complete separation from what I normally write. And it's already turning out really, really awesome. Very, very thoughtful. Thank you very kindly. So yeah, there's that.
Awesome.
I don't know what surprises me the most, that Alan got a book or that Alan can actually read.
Well, I wasn't quite sure what it was when I got it. And then I realized, oh, you got to read it.
He handed it to the girlfriend. The girlfriend read it for him.
Oh, okay.
I'm having her put it on tape so I can listen to it while I'm at work.
All right. So I want to know, how's he doing? How's he coming up with all the names on the side chat when you want him to read them off? He's rattling them off there.
He's got them memorized.
You got to tell it. Wait, no. If you had a teleprompter,
I've
you'd
got
have to
that
read
Biden
too.
earpiece in my ear.
Yeah, there you go.
Alan, wake up! You're snoring again.
All right. So what have you been up to? Anything else this week, Alan, other than getting the book, or did you manage to do any reloading or anything? Or
I did end up getting my dies set up for 223556, and I've started sizing. I haven't yet broke into the trimmer. I'm gonna probably get a batch sized up before I start messing around with that thing.
Well, you have to size them first and trim later. But what I found out with the 223, most of the 223 is undersized, especially if you got like a mil spec brass. So I would you either get one of those gauges or just set the caliper to the length based on your reloading manual and take resize them and just go and check them with the calipers. And you're gonna find out. Chances are, you at 100, you're gonna have 2 or 3. You're gonna have to trim.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of expecting. I'm going to go ahead and resize and put in a bucket. And then that way, when I'm sitting on the couch with the girlfriend, and she's got one of those Hallmark movies going on or something, I could just be checking size and separate them then.
Yeah, really.
Which ones I'm going to have to trim, which ones I'm not.
Yeah, 223, you really got to look at the pockets. Because if it's like a mil spec brass, then you gotta switch the pockets, and that's a pain in the butt.
Well, I got the Dillon pocket swager.
Oh, okay.
I'm not trimming out the pocket. That seems to be the consensus. Most people would much rather trim out the pocket.
Well, what I do, I use a glass drill bit, the one that looks like an arrow. I chuck it in the drill, and I just drilled it out, and then it just makes so much easier putting the new primer in.
Well, Alaska won Andy. He got a real good show last night. The Aurora Borealis that had the biggest display in mega years. I was watching that stuff live online. That was pretty cool.
what kind of tools do you have, Alan, to be doing this with?
Well, I kind of haven't skimped. So I've got my lead turret set up with my sizing right now. I got the Frankfurt Arsenal, the hand deprimer. And so I went ahead and I hand deprimed a bunch of stuff, even though I could use the dies to do that. I didn't have that set up at that time. So I've deprimed probably 1,200, 1,500 cases. But now I've got my turret set up with my dies, and I ended up getting this Gerard trimmer, which I showed before on the show. This Gerard tri-way trimmer, and you just chuck it up into a drill, and once it's all dialed in, you don't have to ever think about it. You just put the case in there, trim it out. Not only does it deburr, but it chamfers.
Now here's a question: why would you deprime and not resize and deprime at the same time?
Because at the time, I didn't have my dies.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Now, when you do go size, I got one advice. Just like in the sex life, lube is your friend. I did
I lube everything.
Yeah, I did have a
Hamburgers, don't matter.
I had a case stuck in the die so bad that I just threw the die away and bought a new one.
All right, so you have the Dillon swaging tools. That's what you're going to use.
I've got the Dillon's pocket swager,
Okay.
and so that's what I'm using for swaging.
And then that Gerard thing is what you're going to trim with.
And the Gerard is what I'm going to use for trimming.
That thing seems really cool. I'm one of those guys who had rather mill that swage out so it won't come back. You know, I'm not saying that it will. I don't know. I just want that stuff gone and I don't have to fool with it no more.
That really seems like to be the main consensus is most people will just rather get rid of that material. And I just didn't set myself up to do it that way. If I find that I have a little bit of a challenge doing it, then I'm gonna set myself up differently. I don't like to screw around too much with like cheap implements. If I'm gonna buy tools, it's gonna be good tools.
So it seems.
My understanding is that the Dillon swaging tool will kind of, you do it once and you're done. That crimp doesn't come back.
Yep. Yeah.
See, that's
I have this one here as well, the RCBS one. It's okay.
I have a glass drill bit.
well. The answer to your question, Bald, why would you deprime without? Why would you size without depriming? The answer is to keep your sizing die from getting nasty, gritty, and grooves worn in it from all the assorted BS that's on the outside of that case. And as you get into sizing 223, Alan, beware of stuck cases. You're going to get them, and there's no way around it. And Friday night on Georgia Shooting Connection, Echo shared with us one of the main reasons. And one of the main reasons, I just happen to have a 223 case right here, is the rim right here. where it gets extracted. A lot of times this gets, and if you look at that one, you can tell it's a little bit bowed, kind of up like that. And that's what happens to them when the gun is overgassed. And if you don't have an adjustable gas block, they pretty much all are overgassed. So, and some of them, Lake City, stuff like that, that you get once fired, some of them have come out of fully automatic weapons. I wished I knew which ones those were, and I wouldn't pick those up. But anyway, they're notorious for being the only stuck cases I've ever had have been 223 and 556 because of that one thing. And with a lead die, it's easier to get the case unstuck, but you got to be careful about using too much lube on it, because then the lube builds up and puts dents in your shoulders, and that stuff doesn't move out of the way. It's hydraulic. It's going to be there, and it can put dents in your shoulders, but once you fire them, they're gone. So it's not a whole lot to worry about.
Well, I was still anticipating on going, and have so far been using just my lanolin alcohol mix for lube. Is there like better stuff out there, like the cat's meow sauce, or
Unique? That's a Hornady product. Redding makes Imperial Sizing Wax. That's what most of the distant shooters use. And this stuff right here, I've never had a stuck case with this. This is like $5 or $6. And Kyle used to say forever that this stuff wasn't for sale. You could only get it in these little packages that come with your die sets, and I've got one of them somewhere. But yeah, you can buy it, and it's about $5 or $6. I've seen it used in various ways. I've seen it put a dab in the bottom of a plastic container, and then you put your brass in there and shake it up and get it coated. You just let it dry and then size it. It's when you feel it with your fingers, it's impossible to understand how this works, but that stuff works.
Yeah, I like the lanolin mix. It works fine. I have no issues doing a bunch of them. And I do it the same way as Chico. I'll deprime everything first on a universal deprimer, and then I'll go ahead and wash them all out, clean them up, and then resize. I do it all stages anyway, so it's not a big deal because I do a little bit at a time, stages.
I love that Lee Universal Depriming die, but if you don't like Lee stuff, it's okay, man. You can buy, all the companies make them now, so that ain't no big deal. Buy the brand you're loyal to, use it, love it. Yeah, just don't get your die scratched up with dirty brass.
well, and that was part of my philosophy. I was like, okay, well, either I can just sit on this brass, wait until I get my die set and deprime that way, or I could just pick up this Frankfurt Arsenal hand tool and deprime in that. It doesn't matter how dirty that thing gets, before I give it its first bath and coat to lube it before sizing. So it was kind of half one, sixth of another. To me, it ends up, yeah, it might be an extra step, but I can sit on my couch with the girlfriend and deprime for a couple hours while she wants her Hallmark movie. And, then I can listen to the Tumblr for a couple hours. Well, she tries to watch her Hallmark movie.
So G23, I'm gonna say don't mix powders. I would not advise mixing powders.
Yeah, he kind of lost me there. He says if you have 2.5 of CFE, and you're going to 5.4 grains. Can you sub with a different? That doesn't really make sense.
Yeah,
I'm guessing he,
definitely
he
not.
wants to use the same load from the different powder, and that's a big no. Every powder, every single powder's got its own weight chart. So you either have a reloading manual or just go to like a CFE or any hydrogen powder. Just go online.
Yeah,
Hydrogen's got
they've all
extra.
got they've all got different burn rates and everything else, and you start mixing them together, you're gonna have all kinds of problems.
Yeah, Hydrogen has an excellent website where you just log in, or you go in and you type in what you're reloading, shotgun, pistol, rifle, what weight bullet, and it'll give you options on different powders, and it gives you all the different load data.
Well, and Tread also has a good point too. A lot of guys won't even mix the same powder from two different containers. I mean, if they've got different lot numbers, a lot of guys won't even mix those.
I'm not. That 2.5 grains left in that bucket's going in the trash can.
The man, the myth, the legend himself, Midas Welby. What's up, buddy?
What's up, bud?
You have a link if you want it, Midas. It's already in your email, brother.
Wow.
See, I
Wow.
load most
30 people.
I load mostly pistol light, so I don't really care if it's a different container, whatever. Never had an issue with that. I mean, that mixing that will probably make a difference in like a real precision rifle. But any plinking ammo and all that, I don't think it'll make a huge difference. But yeah, like 2.5 grains of powder if you got leftover from a pound, yeah, that's not gonna save your ass anyway.
That ain't gonna make you or break you. There's Ocean 374. What's up, Julio, my brother? We got Tread out there too, man. Midas, Andy 79 Z28. Yeah, G23 never mix powders, bud.
Yeah, and also when you go load your ammo, especially rifle ammo, double check that which can you're grabbing, so you don't put like 20 grains of unique in a 223 by mistake, and then your brand new stag arm 3-gun upper winds up in pieces.
Yeah. There's various ways of doing it. Whatever powder I'm running, I'll either leave the tub of powder sitting by the press, or I will label the powder on the hopper so I know what's in the hopper.
Yep, same here, both.
Well, you almost sound like you speak that from personal experience.
Maybe. All I can tell you that 22 grains of unique in 223 will fuck. No, not unique. It was a long shot. Will fuck up the upper completely. It'll break the upper. It'll break the bolt carrier group. It'll even crack the barrel extension. So the only usable thing out of the whole upper was the goddamn barrel.
And it may even bulge the lower receiver.
Yeah, it actually did a little bit, but
And you're kind of lucky it didn't blow your face off.
I was able to take care of that, and it blew the magazine. It actually blew the magazine from the bottom, and it blew the magazine apart as well. All in all, I was kind of surprised because it didn't. It was like a big puff. Like I didn't get hurt. I had my eyes and ears. And then I look at the gun. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, never be scared to ask a question, man. We're glad to have them, and we'll answer whatever we can.
Yeah, if I am not 100% positive in what I'm doing, I don't do it, and I research it, ask questions, contact any of these guys.
Yeah, and that brings another good point. you alone are responsible for the safety of your loads. If you got 2.5 grains left in the bottom of a pound of powder, or left in your dispenser, your hopper, whatever you want to call it. You go get another bottle and it's a different lot. Hey man, if it's your stuff, if you want to go ahead and do that, I wouldn't, but pistol powder probably ain't gonna make a difference. Like Val said, like Uncle Jim said, I'm responsible for my stuff. Tread said he'd put it in the flower pot, use it for fertilizer. It's great for that. There's guys out there who, when they start a different lot, go back to the minimum and build their way back up, and that's more critical with rifle. I understand that, but at the end of the day, it's your ammo that you made. It's going in your gun, and hopefully it's you shooting it. If there's a problem with your ammo in your gun and you're shooting it, that's one thing. If it's your ammo in somebody else's gun and or somebody else is shooting it, then that throws another whole wrinkle into the situation.
Jamie,
Yeah,
I thought you had Kyle for that. Anything
do.
you were sure of, you had Kyle to test them out.
Well, me and Chico both do, right?
Okay, because I got Scotsman.
yeah. Generally, I don't let
Well-
people use my reloads. I just if I take somebody shooting, I take factories. I just don't feel comfortable. It's just like you said, something does happen. That happened to me and my gun.
Right. You're shooting your gun and your ammo. That's yeah. You're responsible.
Yep.
So, Jamie, last I knew, you were building some of these. How's that been going?
Look at that, nice, pretty.
12 gauge, 7.5 shot, 22.6 grains of 800X, 1.25 ounce loads, Remington cases, Remington primers, and Winchester AA wads. That's the thing about shotgun. You got to match the components to the recipe exactly. There's no room for, well, let's figure out, I want to shoot this bullet, but there's no load data for that. So I'm going to use, except for my cartridge overall length, I'm going to use Sierra data for this wherever bullet. You don't do that in shotgun. No, sir. I thought shotgun was going to be the easiest loading I ever done. And after you get everything figured out, it is, man. Just bang, 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 and there's one done, But I'm telling you what, guys, figuring out wads and having the correct shotgun powder, man, that'll take a while, dude.
So, what components, if any, are you using that were previously shot?
Just the cases. That's all that's left. AA, they did. They're not making it anymore. So there's that.
Chico brings up a good point.
Yeah, I won't, Chico. Me and you got history with chronographs, don't we?
Yeah, first shot. Oh, it didn't get a reading. I don't know why.
And it turned off.
And it's laying on the ground. And
Yeah, the wind blew.
It's in pieces.
So, do you really need those rods that hold the shade over the chrono?
I never use them.
If it's really, really sunny, yeah. But if it's really, really sunny, those 2 strips of shade ain't going to do you no good. The best thing to do is take a piece of cardboard and put it the whole length from one of those shades to the other.
Yeah, I never use them.
That's right, Chico. I forgot about that. Kyle shot his with a 44 Magnum, and the thing flops over. Shatters in pieces and flops over. And he turns around and looks at me, and I said, "Kyle, we have an error." Yeah, it was. I forgot all about that, Chico. Yeah. Anyway, that's on my channel somewhere back in the archives if y'all want to see that.
Any particular reason why you went with short brass? Is that just what you had, or?
Very important and very good question. The reason I went with short brass is because a buddy of mine gave me a half a garbage bag full of them. Let me
Do you
explain
think
this.
it makes any difference at all?
It's a marketing tool. When you see a piece of high brass, you think, yeah, that's got more power. No, it don't. It's just got high brass. That's all.
I don't do a lot of shotgun reloads, but a friend of mine does. And when I talk to him, he says that there's something about the shotgun hulls and the way they're on the bottom. So they either square on the bottom or they're like U-shaped on the bottom where the powder goes, and that has to do something. Because when you're like a big trap or sporting clay shooter and whatnot, and you reload, and then you kind of care about the shot and blah 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 because the pattern's better. So supposedly, like the Remington hulls, they're supposed to be one of the best.
Yeah, they call that I can't remember what, but yeah, that's in the description of the hull. Is the brass on the outside don't matter. What matters is the shape of the inside down there by the primer. And I can't remember what they call that exactly, but I think it's a sub-wide or let me look that up. I mean, you got my curiosity up now, and that's a worthwhile question to look up. Base wide.
Yeah, I was always under the impression that it depends upon the shotgun that you're using on if shorter or long brass made a difference.
It's called a base wide. The brass on the outside is nothing more than a marketing tool, according to the books that I've read. And all I got to go by is the books I've read.
And I always thought you can stick anything in the shotgun and it'll fire.
Chico is the man, y'all.
Well, and there's channels out there on YouTube that do just that. They stick all kinds of crap in shotgun shells.
Oh, that's how the demolition
just
range
shoot it,
started.
just to shoot it, to see if it'll shoot.
Yeah, I have a progressive press for the shotgun, and I have when I do reload on it, I have like a tray underneath it because I always screw up, and I got wind up with the pellets all over the goddamn place.
I grew
We're
up with
about
guys.
halfway, Alan. Side chat's filling up pretty good. You want to run through the room?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's been good over there. I've seen lots of people jumping in, jumping out. Andy 79 Z28, Armament and Axis, Burnaby Sanchez, Chico Wise, East East Texas Outlaws, G23, Keith Gregory, the one, the only, might as well be. New York Outcast, Ocean 374, Uncle Jim, Vanessa Kitty. It's just, yeah, it's been bouncing all over the place out there. Reloading from the hot pot, Tread, lead bullet junkie. Thoughts of an Old Soldier did end up having to go rock the grandchild to sleep, though. Pistol Pete. Yep. Oh, yes. Okay. Pistol Pete brings up officer in Norfolk, Virginia, 19-year veteran, made an anonymous payment to basically like a GoFundMe style site for Kyle's defense. And hackers were actually able to discover who that was. And apparently that particular law enforcement office leans a certain direction politically and straight fired the officer for it. He did this on his off-duty time. He didn't want to alert anybody that he was an officer or where he worked or anything like that. He made an anonymous payment, an anonymous contribution, and got terminated for it.
I read the same thing, and I find it hard to believe because they cannot fire you for something like that. So they had to find a different reason.
These places don't care anymore, and depending on the state,
No. Every law enforcement agency, you got unions and whatnot. They can't.
Well, you do, but it happened. So, and the guy is fighting for his job right now. He's fighting to get it back.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they can't just fire you on the spot just because you donated the money. It just there has to be more to the story that somebody's not saying. You have to understand that every media are about the sensation. They want people to read them so they come up with the story. There might be a lot less right-leaning media, but they are out there and they still fighting for our views. So they coming up with sometimes bullshit stories.
In these liberal Democrat-held cities, that guy got fired. He had law enforcement get fired for going to the same January 6th rally that you went to, Bald. Many people, just not even beyond law enforcement. These libs were out there on a vendetta. It's going on. And the politicians don't care because they're going to end up paying out to these people with taxpayers' dollars. Nothing's coming out of their pocket.
Well, and see, Rob, I think it's because I think he had like 30 years or something in there or more, and he's probably got a good pension, and he wants to make sure he gets his pension. So that's probably why he's pushing to get his job back.
Yeah, if he's 19-year veteran, then he probably needs another year to get his pension. That's probably the biggest thing.
He was X amount of months. I forget what the report actually was. He was X amount of months from getting his pension.
But he's gonna have to deal with some bullshit. But he
was getting more vindicated or more vested. He was gaining vestment after a certain amount of time. So
yeah, because there was a state trooper from I think Washington. And either state trooper from Washington or he was a police from Seattle, either one. And same thing, they praised him because he quit because of the COVID vaccines. But even he said that they gave him an option that he's either going to get vaccinated or they're going to put him on a different position where he's going to be making less money. And he said himself, I was already maxed out at my pay grade, already had 25 years in, so more than enough to put his papers in. So he just quit, got his pension, and just make himself look like a hero because he refused the vaccine. So it's like, I mean, I hate to say it, as much as you think the cops are on our side, I would say 90% of them are there for the goddamn pensions. That's it. I mean, when the shit comes to shove, we can't rely on them. Sheriff's office might be a little different, but even the guy that bought the house from me, he's a sheriff's deputy, and he said straight up, if it comes between you and his pension, it's his pension, and he's gonna do whatever the fuck they're gonna tell him. So I hate to say it, but that's the way it is. And like this guy, for example, NYPD. Okay, when they mandated the vaccine, the NYPD union stepped in right away and started suing the city because of that. So every law enforcement, every major thing has a union, and it goes through them. So they can't just fire the guy on the spot because he donated $25. I don't believe that for a second. There had to be a lot more to the story.
Yeah, it's a shit show out there now.
I mean, no doubt we're getting screwed left and right.
The shooting that happened in Florida, three sheriffs pull over a vehicle. One of the sheriffs has a female suspect out by his car. Another one of the sheriffs is in between the two. There's another individual leaning against the back of the car. One sheriff is by the door of the car that they pulled over at the rear passenger door, and he's speaking with another male inside the car. There's a baby in the car and a dog in the car, and you get the audio of that officer. Out of nowhere, the individual that's in the back of the car jumps out. He's got an AR pistol, begins firing at the sheriffs. The sheriffs kind of scatter. One of the sheriffs hits this guy in the leg. This guy goes all the way around both vehicles, and one of the sheriffs, not knowing he came around the vehicles, gets blindsided, and this guy starts wailing on him with the AR pistol. Another one of the sheriffs empties his magazine, drops his magazine, and reloads. Takes down the assailant, and then proceeds to mag dump into the assailant. The sheriff for the county said, to all those naysayers that want to know why we shot him so many times, because evil can never be dead enough.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, most of the shootings you see, when the cop actually draws the gun and fires, he doesn't fire once, twice. They go to town, because they pretty much. My understanding is they're being told you keep shooting until the threat stops moving.
Right, but if you were in that situation, and you did the same thing, and it was caught on video, you'd go to jail.
Well, depends. I guess. In this state, I definitely go to jail.
Yeah, I greatly applaud that sheriff for stepping up and saying exactly that.
I do too. But let's face it, guys, if we ever have to defend ourselves with a firearm, we're going to jail.
Not necessarily, because I have let's put it this way. I have a cousin in a gun-friendly state. I'm not going to say which one. And he's a lifetime member of USCCA. And he works, let's say he works as a plumber, okay, for a company. And he's in his van in a major city filling up a paperwork. And all of a sudden he hears thump, right? So basically two guys, I'm not going to mention the color, broke into his work van. This is in the middle of the summer. The van's running in the parking lot with the AC on. They broke into the van. So he turns over, and all he sees is a guy with something in his hand. And this guy carries 120 20% of the time. He reaches out. Well, actually, he's a lefty. He reaches out and go bang, bang. All right. He sees one guy running as fast as he never see anybody run like that, and he wound up shooting the other guy. And his first phone call was to USCCA. They told him exactly what to do. He said, "Don't say it. Don't say the fucking word. Keep your mouth shut. Call 911. Give them just this much info. When they come in, they're gonna try to question you. The first thing you're gonna say, you don't feel good. You're about to pass out. They have to take you to the hospital. By the time you get to the hospital, we'll have a lawyer waiting for you." That's exactly what happened. He hung up with them. He called 911. He said, "This is what happened." They wanted all the other info. He hung up. 5 minutes later, the cops were there. The whole thing. He goes, the cops start pressing on what happened. He goes, "Dude, I'm all woozy, whatnot." They took him to the hospital, and the lawyer was waiting for him. That's it. He never got charged. He never got arrested. Everything. He wound up being a self-defense, good shooting, and the only thing he had to worry about, they had 1 year to bring him in a civil court. So, moral of the story: if you do get into trouble, keep your fucking mouth shut and call a lawyer. And I used to be a member of USCCA until our beloved fucking governor kicked them out of the state, and now I can't have them, and I can't have any carry insurance, and that's kind of a scary thought, because USCCA, I think I had like a golden thing for like $35 or $50 a month with like a $2 million protection and all that bullshit. It's absolutely worth it. You have insurance on every single thing you do in your life, so why not on this?
Yeah, that I would probably put that into a rare case. I 100% expect to be arrested if I ever have to use my firearm in defense.
Yeah, that's pretty rare. Usually, no matter what, you're gonna go to jail.
No. You remember the guy in Florida, the guy that was playing a traffic cop when the lady double parked, or she parked in a handicap spot, and he went and told her to move, and they went into FU contest, and her boyfriend or husband, whatever, came out of the store and assaulted the guy, and as the guy fell, he drew the gun and shot him square in the chest. So that whole thing, the cop came in, called it a good shooting, and they let him go. It only went to the court because everybody went nuts in that town, and even though the video clearly shows the guy assaulted him, and at the end, like a week later or 2 weeks later, they wind up actually arresting the guy and charging him purely because of the public push.
So he went to jail.
At the end, he did. I think he went to court, and I think he lost at the end. I think he's doing the time. I forgot the name, but if you're looking at the video, guy came from behind, shot him to the ground, and it for me it looked like he went to pound on him because he pulled up his pants and kind of did the motion. As far as I'm concerned, there was clear self-defense, but guy was unarmed and blah blah blah. They just spinned it around and.
We're going to have to look that one up because that was a disparity of force. You had a big guy on an old guy, and they just recently passed stand your ground in that state where he had the legal right to, everything fell right there for him to pull his gun. Even though that guy had no business of playing traffic cop.
Well, and that was the problem. So you got to remember, you don't want to be inciting something to happen. And that's where they got him. They got him because he was inciting something and potentially caused that situation that he was in. Therefore, they don't call it self-defense at that point because you incited the situation.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I think that's going to be the grounds that gets those guys in South Georgia on the Marbury case convicted. I think they were doing kind of like a vigilante thing. They were actually going out. Okay, for lack of a better word, victim, the guy who died in the case was caught on camera 3 times in a home built that was still under construction. Bald can relate to this. He's wandering through a construction site, and they had him on video, and they went to get him. They saw him out jogging, and they took their shotguns and they tried to make a citizen's arrest. This is the best of my knowledge. I've not been watching this trial, but I'm going to start. Of course, it's down to closing arguments and deliberation at this point, but you can pick up a lot just by listening to the closing arguments. But he fought back. He struggled with the guy for his shotgun, and at that point in time, it did become a matter of self-defense for both of them. You know, both of them were in a fight for their life at this point, right? But the problem was the guys that survived that are being prosecuted right now went looking for this guy to hold him till the cops got there. So I ain't saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that that's going to be a different application of the law than the Kyle Rittenhouse case.
Yeah, I agree because the Kyle got chased by the people. He didn't like go and wave the gun and whatnot. I mean, I did the video back then. I got called every name in the book and racist and whatnot because I didn't understand why did the guy go after them and grab the shotgun and all that when all he had to do is just not resist, and chances are they would call the cops, whatever, and it would wind up completely different. But yeah, it's like this is really dicey situation because he went after them. He did grab the shotgun, and that's how he got shot. The guy, and there's also a video of them chasing him and driving down the road, and so I got a bad feeling those two are gonna wind up in jail. It's kind of different scenario than the Kyle Rittenhouse. But wait for them to spin it because you forgot to mention a really important thing that two rednecks were white and they shot a black guy. And I hate to say it, but that plays a big role. If they actually somehow spin a Kyle Rittenhouse shooting into being racist, when a white guy shoots three white guys, somehow that's racist as well.
Oh, well, the president tried to make it out to be racist right off the bat. Straight up called him a white supremacist.
Yep.
But
For what?
The trial ever
For what?
started.
There was absolutely no evidence at all that had anything to do with that kid being a white supremacist.
Well, and the other thing of this is there's I forget the name of the shooter, but there's a black gentleman who's in court right now, but you don't hear anything about that case. You only hear about the white supremacist who defended himself against three white guys. And that's
But
some
all
high
that criminal
profile
records,
case too. I just don't remember the name of the guy.
No, to
But
me, that
BLM's all
doesn't matter.
over. BLM's all over the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, but they're not over this black guy who, supposedly was defending himself.
No, G, from my understanding, it was 2 on 3 on 1. The guy, the third defendant, was in the car behind them taping. That's all he did. So he is charged as an accomplice.
Yeah.
He was charged as an accomplice for videoing it.
Yeah, from what I understand, he followed behind them and was taping the whole thing. So when you see tapes of the incident, and if you watch the court coverage, they pretty much came from him, and he was filming it on a phone, I believe. But yeah,
Pistols Pete's right on. Biden also was quoted saying that he was angry and disappointed about the Rittenhouse verdict. Why would you be angry and disappointed? The justice system actually did its job properly.
Again, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit their narrative or what they want. It doesn't fit their agenda. That's what happens every single time.
That's the only thing, is because it doesn't fit their damn agenda. Oh, did you just prove that you could use an AR-15 to defend yourself legally? Yeah, you just did. Oh shit, that doesn't fit my agenda.
I think one of the funniest things I've seen all week is Beto O'Rourke, or whatever the hell his name is trying to run for governor of Texas, and he's running on the fact that he's going to try and take the guns.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you are the epitome of fucking stupid.
The thing is, you got liberal cities in Texas as well, and he thinks he's got a leg to stand on. So
Texas will never let that one happen.
yeah, well, we thought the Dems will never win in Arizona, and look at how it turned out in the election. So never say never.
I didn't say they wouldn't cheat. I'm just saying that Texas itself won't let it happen. But
Yeah. Problem is, nobody's willing to drink from their enemy's skulls anymore. Everybody's too comfortable at their job. Nobody wants to go. The people that go and riot those are usually people that got nothing to lose. You got like in Kenosha, those were felons, those were half retards that and most of us have a jobs, have a family, have something to go home to. Nice ass to snuggle. You don't want to give it up. You don't want to be in jail, snuggle up some freaking Joe Blow. So that's the problem. That's the problem. And these politicians know it, and they exploiting that shit. I hate to say it, but nothing will ever change in any country in the world. I don't care if it's the US, Great Britain, France, Slovakia, whatever, Scotland. You have to get rid of career politicians. Politics should not be a career. End of story, period. Okay? Everybody should be a regular citizen, go serve in a Congress or whatever for 2-3 years, just like when you get called to jury duty. That's the way it should be. The Congress or whatever, it should be same freaking thing. Go there, 2-3 years, get the fuck out. Somebody else comes in. You get freaking Schumer sitting there for 30 years. We got president that's been in the politics for longer than I have been alive. And he's got nothing to show for it. Nothing but the bullshit that he spews. And now he's in his 70s and he can't put a coherent sentence together. So what's wrong with this picture?
The problem with that is that the people who are going to have to introduce the bill to be voted on are the ones you're talking about need to go. And by that, term limits will never happen.
Well, maybe, just maybe, it's time for actual civil unrest. Maybe just change it that way. I mean, maybe I'm just saying. I lived through it in Czechoslovakia back in '89. It was peaceful. I mean, there's a good chance CIA was behind it and was orchestrated, but something did happen.
What's there to prevent the United States citizens from getting a petition to put it up for a national vote to institute term limits?
Thank you. I was just going to bring up that as well.
Isn't that like a there's a term for it? What's it called?
Daniel, you got a little free time on your hands. You're retired and all. Why don't you draft that? We'll get it circulated.
You know what? I used to have to spell check and do all that stuff in the military. Oh, what a nightmare. But my neighbor down here, used to be the county prosecutor. I could probably have him write it up. What are you asking me?
There's easier way. Whatever happened on January 6th needs to happen again, but this time all them people need to be armed.
No, see, that's the problem, though. That's what they want. That's what they want, because then they can turn around and go, look at all the gun people, see what we told you, and it opens another avenue to try and take away our weapons.
Yeah,
You
You got to
know
be
what?
careful. You got to be careful how you do it.
The
You
thing
got
is,
the left is
we
arming
have
up
to.
now.
The best way to do it is to try and do the peaceful route first. When the peaceful way completely fails, then we look at other options.
okay,
Right now, we still have plenty of avenues that we can take and utilize, and we need to utilize those first.
it's never gonna happen. It's like raising a kid. If you have a boy, okay, you tell him 20 times.
You know, why
Not-
are you so fucking negative all the time? It's
Because
never gonna happen with a fucking attitude like that.
because
It's
I have
not.
a little more life
Pull your
experience.
head up. Hey, do me a favor. Pull your head out your ass.
I have a little more
Because
life
it's so
experience.
far
than
up
you.
there right now. It's so far up there right now. It's not even fucking funny.
Let me
Really?
paint you a picture, okay? If you
Stop
have a-
being so fucking negative. If you don't have any positivity about how we're gonna change things, we'll never fucking change things. Pull your head out your ass, man. Come on.
Yeah, good luck with that shit. I was gonna tell you, if you have a son and you tell him 20 times don't do that, and he still does that, and after 20th time you kick him in the ass, he won't do it again. So, and I'm sure
No,
you
you're not allowed to do that. Whoa.
Look, here's
You're
the
not
thing,
allowed to
man.
do that.
I'm not a violent person, but I can be.
oh,
The point is there are ways around doing things first. You gotta have a positive fucking attitude.
I didn't
You
say
fucking
go. Hey,
negativity.
hey! You mixing things up. I didn't say go and kill them all. I said show up armed.
I know, but the thing with that is you got to be careful because they're going to utilize that.
Yeah, but you show force. That's the key.
You got to be careful.
You got the counter protesters. They're already showing up armed. So if you have the regular protesters there to have a demonstration and have no exposed weapons, and all of a sudden they start getting shot by the leftists, that's when you're going to see things go totally violent.
You guys don't get it because you weren't there. If you were there on January 6th and you feel the energy and you see the sheer amount of people and force and whatnot, what was there, you would think differently. I'm talking. How many of you actually saw 1 million people together?
I
kid
get
you not,
it.
I kid you not. It was 1 million people at least. I mean, as far as you can see, was nothing but American flags and the mega hats. As far as you can see, I mean, it was a freaking ocean.
And any violence they're going to use for their own propaganda needs.
That's the thing. The violence started. It was all already planned. Whatever the violence happened,
What you're talking about doing, yes, is a good idea to a certain point. But what do you think they're going to do? They're going to utilize and fucking plan something to go along with that, just like they did on January 6th, and try and fuck us.
That's called agent provocateurs that are there to discredit the people that are wanting to put on a peaceful protest. And they have the media that backs them up.
Hey, you just said not too long ago that we have the Second Amendment against tyrannical government. I mean, what's
We do, but we have other avenues that we can utilize first.
Good luck with that. Let me know how it works out. I'm sure all those other avenues.
Hey, I'm not saying they're gonna work, but we gotta try, and you gotta have a positive fucking attitude.
Yeah, I'm sure it worked out very well for Scottish people.
Look, you know what? Here's the thing, man. When it comes time and the shit hits the fan, yeah, I'll be right there. So fuck you.
No, you weren't. I was there. Where were you,
That's not
January
the shit
6th?
hitting the fan.
You were sleeping on January 6th.
That was not hitting the fan.
There's West Covina Dodge. Apparently, Poco Loco wants to change the topic of conversation.
You know that all of us will get investigated by the FBI just by talking about all this shit. You don't know.
Oh,
that,
they
right?
can kick my ass. I don't give a shit.
So clear your schedule. Clear your
I'm
schedule.
sure-
investigated.
If we ain't already on a fucking list, we will be.
Yeah. Next time you try to get on the airplane, they're like, "Oh, you went on the chat with the Scotsman? Hey, fuck no, you driving."
All right, let's move on to something else.
They try to prevent me from getting on airplanes just because I'm wearing a kilt. So oh jeez. Big
Big
Al,
Al,
Force Axe, Staff Master Sergeant Bulldog, New York Outcast, Walter Davis, Uncle Jim, Vanessa Kitty, Paco Loco, Armament and Axis. Man, it still got an absolutely phenomenal side chat out there. Lead Bullet Junkie, G23, Bernabe Sanchez, Tread, Uncle Jim and Uncle John, Walter Davis, West Covina Dodge, Ocean 374 is still out there. It's still got a great side chat going there, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate you 100%.
Oh, Pistol Pete, you're so fucking wrong. You got no idea. Glocks are perfection. Don't bring that shit up over here. Come on, stop with the hate speech.
Why you gotta be racist, Pistol Pete? Come on, man.
Come on.
Glocks are perfection. If you want to modify every part of your gun to where it's no longer what it came out of the factory as, that's
See, you buy a $500-600 gun and then you put another fucking $500-600 in it, making it perfection. Or you could just buy a CZ that's $600. It's already ready to go.
Or you can buy a Grand Power Excalibur for $700. Mine's got like 30,000 rounds on it and still runs fine.
you got that right, G. I mean, man's got to do what a man's got to do.
Big Al.
Don't waste your time shooting it. You'll not like it. It's horrible. Don't waste your time.
Oh, you know what? He should shoot at least once. Then he will know how crappy it is.
No, then he's got to wash his hands real good at that point. Got to be careful, man.
Everybody should wash their hands anyways. It might spread the COVID germs.
What? No, it's very, very simple. Go to the store, have them put a CZ next to a Glock and dry fire them in the store. Find out, hey, can I dry fire these? And dry fire them in the store and tell me which one you're going to walk out with.
See, for me, it's not a trigger. Like Glock itself, trigger I can live with. It's the grip angle that gets me, because if you shoot like a normal guns, if you're like a 1911 guy and you grab a Glock, all of a sudden you're looking at your sights and your front sight is high because the grip is so not normal for your hands. Every other gun, every 1911 CZ, Walther, whatever you grab, you grab, and there you go. The front sight's right there. Glock's the only one. The grip angle is so weird. If you grab a 80% Glock or I think Wolf makes Timberwolf makes a frame, completely different animal.
Yep. So have you guys been following the Supreme Court case on the 2A?
The one in New York?
Yeah.
Not really. I'm just waiting for the ruling.
I figured if anybody, you would actually be more up on this than the rest of us.
Not really, because it's kind of more about New York City than New York State. That case. It's not. See, I don't understand this. You come here, you talk a big fucking game about going to January 6th, this, the other shit, and then one in your home fucking state that is in the Supreme fucking Court, and I'm not following it. Okay, so how about you educate me, you motherfucker? You're so fucking smart.
Dude, I'm making a fucking point. I don't understand it.
Because this state is fucked. It doesn't matter. Okay?
Whatever they do, it's not going to change.
It's not going to change the fucking thing. There's nothing going to change because they're discussing whatever they're doing. It's really not the state. It's about the city. Done with that shit.
Can I say something?
No.
You're talking about Val's negativity. he's not negative. He's absolutely positive that nothing is ever going to get any better.
Exactly. And these boys had it as a fucking ass.
All right.
God damn.
All right. How about you calm down and we kind of take a moment. I went to church today. I haven't been to church in.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you know why I went to church? I went to church because it's a year since Monica passed away, my goddaughter's mom. So there was a mass dedicated in her name, and I'm looking around. I mean, this was a Polish mass, and I'm looking around, and there's this mom with a mask on with the two kids. Both of them had the mask on. Oh, okay, I get it. Okay, you bought it, whatever. Okay. But then, at the end of the mass, they walk out to the priest, and the priest stuck the thing in their freaking mouth with his hands. I'm like, really?
Well, if you can't trust the priest, who are you supposed to trust?
So like you're sitting in the church for 45 minutes in the mask, worried about germs, and then you go and do that. I'm like, okay, makes a lot of sense.
Well, and I think the point
Well,
of
that's
I think the
because
whole
it's
point.
the cleanest thing you can. You're ingesting the body. It's the cleanest thing you can ingest.
Yeah,
I think the whole point we should take from this is it's been a year, and it was good that you could go and remember her, man.
Yeah, that's the least I can do.
Absolutely. Earlier, Big Al was posted that his church was very cool today, and I answered him back, so mine was too. I taught Sunday school this morning, and my lesson was about John chapter 12. Y'all go look it up. Big Al, look it up. Verses 1 through 11.
Hey, Judge, let me ask you one thing. You go to church often, right?
Every day, every Sunday.
Okay, but you're not a Catholic. It's not a Catholic church. It's a Baptist, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's a completely different story. And one of those days, I'm gonna go to Baptist church for a mass because I'm gonna tell you one thing: the Catholic church is freaking boring.
Well,
Because the mass is exactly the same. It doesn't matter if it's in English, Polish, or Slovak. It's exactly the same mass, with the exception when the pastor had a speech or whatever the hell. Other than that, it's the same crap over and over again, and that's one of the reasons I don't go. It's just it's boring. But you know what? I did hear a great story. I'm gonna lay down. So the preacher goes to get his haircut. So he goes to a barber, and barber starts cutting his hair, and they talk, and barber tells preacher like, you know what? I don't think the God exists. And preacher's like, why do you think that? Well, if the God existed, why would he let all the bad things happen to good people? He goes, fair enough. So preacher's done. He walks out of the barber's place, and outside there's a homeless guy, hairy, haven't had a haircut in months. So the preacher grabs the hairy guy, brings him to a barber place. He goes, hey, I don't think the barbers exist because this guy wouldn't be so hairy. And the barber goes, it's not that I don't exist. It's that the guy never came and see me. Nothing?
did the preacher tell this joke at church?
No, I read it somewhere on TikTok or whatever the hell. It was actually, it kind of stuck to me. It was kind of cool.
One thing I wished my preacher wouldn't do, and Daniel, you tell me if you have this problem. Our preacher was talking about the ladies' auxiliary thing had a meeting, had their cake sale, and his wife won a strawberry cake, fresh strawberry cake, and he took it home and she brought it home and he ate the first piece and he talked about how good and fresh and all that. And then he said it was so good he had to have a second piece, and then he kept on talking about the cake. All right, man, we've been here since 9 o'clock. We're waiting on you to get done so we can go get something to eat. Cool it with the food talk. Get to your sermon and let us get out of here, man. All right?
Well, Ours didn't do that. I mean, anything that he talked about was actually related to the sermon. And our pastor, he left the Catholic Church and went to be Protestant. So, Val, I'm telling you, quit talking about just going in there someday to a Baptist church. Just do it.
It's
Just
not about that.
go into a Baptist church, do 1 month of Sundays, and it'll give you something to think about it because you'll see it's night and day.
Here's the
They
thing.
open up the Bible. Everybody brings their Bible in. They learn
Well,
about Christianity.
Here's the thing. I'm one of those guys that kind of lives in a thing that help yourself and God will help you. So leave me alone. I'll leave everybody else alone.
I just brought that up because you said you were going to do it someday.
No, I definitely want to. I would not like the experience, but unfortunately, I'm not. You know, you have to understand. I spent first half of my life being brought up as a goddamn communist. So I was actually christened in a Methodist church, which is like Greek Orthodox kind of crap. So it's different scenario. Basically, at my christening, I got my first communion and everything. While I was christened, they do it differently over there. So you know, it's not that I do not believe in a higher power. It's not that I do not appreciate people. Hey, my son went to a Catholic school. You know what? My son's 21 years old, and I kind of got a feeling he still goes to church even when he's in college because they have a chapel over there. Might be for just because he wants to be alone, wants to think. Maybe he believes, maybe he doesn't, whatever. But it's just, I'm just, you know, let everybody be whatever they want to be.
All you single guys, the best place to meet women is church.
Correct. And you're going to meet women at a good church. At a good church, you're going to meet women that really aren't gold diggers and self-centered and everything. Their mindset is when they look for a man, they're looking for a man that's going to treat them like they're part of that guy's own body.
And this is like really round table. We went from Kyle to reloading to self-defense shooting. Now we're talking religion. Holy mother of God.
No, we don't talk religion, man. Religion is a set of rules that nobody can live up to.
Yeah.
That's the Bible
Jamie,
says.
we're talking about a personal relationship that we have.
I
Right.
thought religion's about a faith.
Yeah. Faith is part of a personal relationship because you walk by faith.
Faith is the start of a personal relationship because you can't have a relationship with somebody that you don't believe really is.
You ever watched the Indiana Jones when they were chasing the that holy cradle thing? That episode?
Holy Grail.
Yeah. And when he was about to take the step on that bridge that he couldn't see, you know.
That's faith.
Yeah. I mean, that was cool. That was pretty cool. They put it in.
He just closed his eyes and stepped off, man.
Yeah.
That's right, Hawk Knives.
The
Yeah.
question is why did he close his eyes? Did he doubt his own faith?
I used to say that, Uncle Jim. I used to think the grocery store was the best place to meet women. And you know, you have a fairly good, strong argument there. I may have to stand corrected because at our church, anyway, most of the women there are already married. So,
Well, how's your teen? How's your youth programs?
well, too good for any of these guys to be trying to pick them up.
Well, no,
I
mean,
believe the best way to meet a woman is to not be looking for one.
That's when it gets you, right? Yep.
now the reason I said youth programs is because a lot of churches that I've seen, it's like there's nobody left but the blue-haired old people, and it's like, hey, the last one that's still alive turned the lights off when you leave. But the churches that got really good youth programs, they're really strong.
And always will be.
There's a couple out in the side chat. I've really got to go through this. The bar is a great place to find a one night stand. No, that's just a good place to find a woman for at least one night.
No, that's a good place to get yourself something you don't want that lasts a lot longer than the one night stand.
Right. And some doctor's appointments and other things. They're
You want to see
what
penicillin?
was the other one?
Right?
Best place to pick up a woman is a homeless shelter. Yeah, she's pretty much willing to go with you.
Now, Daniel, you talk about the church security, right? So when you carry in church, where you carry?
A PO1 Omega. I've also carried my S2.
No, where?
And
not
my
what.
where?
Yeah.
Outside the waistband, underneath my cover shirt.
Okay, where? Appendix, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock.
3 o'clock outside the waistband.
Because I was in church today, right? And I'm like, you know what? It's a Polish church. God knows what the hell. So I took my 365 SAS in a pocket holster, stick it in my right pocket, put everything else in the left pocket. And I was kind of uncomfortable because when I sat down at the church and I'm looking where my knee's pointing, I'm like, it'll go straight into this guy's bag or whatever. So the whole time I kind of slanted my foot a little bit, so it points like into the ground. And every time I had to kneel or whatever, it just kind of I don't know why. It just kind of felt a little like, okay, if something, because when you have 12 o'clock or 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock, then the muzzle points downward. So let's say the gun spontaneously goes off, you only shoot at yourself or you shoot a freaking bench or whatever. It was just something that kind of crossed my mind.
I feel sorry for anybody that comes into our church wanting to cause bad things, because half the church is carrying and they qualify.
Organized.
Yeah. And you got about 20. Yeah, you got 20 people in that out of all of them that actually go out here and do qualifications. And it's the people that qualify are the ones that are legally covered if there is a shooting.
45 Alpha Charlie Papa has the correct answer. Inside the waistband.
Inside the waistband.
And Richard sent me that link, so if you guys are interested in seeing what's going on in Wisconsin right now, there's the link for it.
Why is the UK news?
Because he's in the UK.
Oh, okay. Do you see what's happening all over the Europe, right? It's actually Austria and starting Monday, Slovakia. If you are not vaccinated, you cannot leave the house unless you're going to work or some like essential things. That's it. Other than that, you have to stay home.
And they don't have any rights to have firearms, huh?
Well, Slovakia, there's no rights. You have to ask for permission. Austria, I'm pretty sure they don't have any rights. Germany is the same way, because I met a kid over here, and he came from Germany, and his dad was a cop or uncle was a cop, and said that his father is a policeman, and when he leaves work, he has to leave the gun at the station. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't have any.
And that's what makes America great. We still have the Second Amendment.
it's not just the Second Amendment. We got a lot of amendments that the rest of the world don't
Mhm.
have. I don't care who says
Well,
what.
the second is there to protect all the others.
Yep.
It's the only one that can protect all the others.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I do not carry at church. And I don't carry at work because it's against the law. But at church, I don't carry because we have 2 police officers set there on duty the whole time. And if somebody does come, I'm going to and start some stuff. I'm going to be busy throwing my wife to the ground and covering her up in case anything happens. Try my best to protect her. Hey, big board, but
Do you do weekly drills at home?
no.
Yeah, he does. But yeah, he does. He does throw his wife to the ground, but they call it differently. They call it romance. So, and Walter Davis, he's got a point over there. You know, you leave to work at the store. What's the difference in going for a walk? And he's got a point. My daughter's school. Okay, so my daughter's school's got one of the really good school bands. We used to go to New York City every year. Last 2 years with the COVID, bullshit didn't go. Whatever. So now they have a new mask for the band. I'm like, why you need the band? You play a fucking clarinet. You need to blow in the fucking thing. They have a mask with a fucking hole in it. You cannot make this shit up. You're gonna be in a band wearing a mask. Mask has a hole. You stick a fucking clarinet, and that's how you like. Are you serious? I'm like, I told her straight up. You do not wear a mask for the band. If whatever the hell happens in school, if they suspend you, I'll go and I'll raise the hell in school. Like, this does not make any sense at all.
And then you got our great government. If you go to the school board and talk against the mask and the shot, they sick the FBI on you
Yeah, well,
to investigate you as a terrorist.
well, bring him up. I mean, how retarded you have to be when you put a hole in the mask, stick it on the kid, and let them play in the goddamn band, and that's okay, as long as they wear the goddamn mask. Like, come on.
I got to get my, oh man.
All right, we're getting close to the end anyway. So we'll start going through the room and see what everyone's got going on. Daniel, what you got going on, man?
I'm just taking care of things at home, getting stuff ready for the first Monday after Thanksgiving, and just taking care of the wife and taking care of business here. But thanks for having me on, guys. It's great talking and great listening. It was a good chat. It was.
Absolutely. Good to have you, man. Jamie?
Thank you.
I'm kind of like Daniel. Wife's got some stuff going on, as you know, and I'll try to be taking care of her. Doctor trip, stuff like that, trying to work, getting ready for Thanksgiving. Y'all, if you're not busy Friday nights, check us out on the Georgia Shooting Connection. We'd love to have you. And I need to make some videos. Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for throwing me a link. Enjoy you guys' company, and thanks for putting up with me.
Always good to have you, man. Val?
Not a whole lot. I don't think I have anything coming up. Just too busy working. Walter Davis, he's right. He says Poland is fighting a good fight right now. They need our prayers. There's a lot of shit going on in Europe. Go watch it. And I got my goddaughter coming on Tuesday. Poor thing had a appendix removed on Wednesday. So I'm just gonna enjoy her and just kill her with my love.
Awesome. Good deal. Good deal. I appreciate everyone out there. I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving, whatever you're doing. just take some time for yourselves, relax, and have some fun. With that being said, I'm going to throw it over to Alan to take us out.
All right. Man, great chat. We can have heated debates. Everything's all great. That's what it's about. And we've got a phenomenal side chat tonight. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. I greatly appreciate it. Did have a short little blurb of a video come out this week, but probably won't turn out another video next week if well, it all depends on if I win the lottery or not. But you have to play to win. Just want to remind everybody though to walk softly and carry a big stick. Keep your magazines loaded and one in the chamber. Woo!